I've got a rant about people and religion, spirituality, whatever. And I'm mainly talking about right now people that are Christians that defend the Bible and Christianity, but have no idea what it is, and have no idea what they're worshiping or what they're studying and what they're giving their energy, their soul, and spirit to. It is concerning, for their spirits, but that's not my path. I'm not the Christian whistleblower. I don't wake people up. That's his job. Now, did make some notes. Basically, what happened is I made a post about my son's views on religion. Now, my son he's an extremely old soul. I mean, like, I'm an old soul, but he is older than me, like, way older. And from a very small child, he's had some very profound ideas. He's profoundly gifted. He's had some very, adult ideas for a very, very small child. So, like when he was 2, people would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? He would always say, I'm going to run the world. Things like that. Which maybe he will one day. I don't know. He might not be the best dictator. But, anyhow, it's neither here nor there. So, he has never, ever, ever bought religion. Not at all. He does not, there is not a man in the sky. Period. But, that leans him over to the other side, like he follows science and the Big Bang, which I try to tell him that just because there's no man in the sky doesn't mean that it has to be that either. Because the Big Bang is garbage. It makes no sense as well. And anything that's actively being pushed on us is a lie. And that is my rant here, okay? Now, I get the Christian people who have, I get, but I don't. I understand that there's, like, a lot of people that have just blindly followed what their grandma and what their mom and all that taught them and everything like that. And rest my grandmother's soul, thank God she taught me about religion and how awful it was. Thank you, Ethel. She taught me a whole lot. Anyhow, these religious truthers, that you can see everything else is a lie, but you really, really think that religion is the truth? I mean, really? Seriously? Come on. The King James Version of the Bible is a government-approved book. How often does the government disclose truth en masse to the masses, the people? Is that normal for them? I think not. Prior to the King James Version, what most people don't know is the law of the land was King James's book of demonology. It ruled for at least 500 years prior to the Bible. You're welcome to get a copy on Amazon. The Bible was also once called the Godspell, and then it was shortened to Gospel after the church decided that they were going to demonize magic. They wanted to demonize the pagans that wouldn't join the church, that wanted to continue to use their, old rituals or what have you. And so they demonized magic. And so then they had to change the name of the Godspell to Gospel. And the Godspell is one of the most powerful spells in existence today. Now, the first sentence of the Bible used to say that Elohim and God created the heavens and the earth, and the Catholic Church changed that, okay? And They, Rome, whoever, they changed a lot of it. However, they neglected to go through and change all of the tenses. It still in many, many places says we, they, and then other places it says things about gods. And these are in the first few chapters of the Old Testament. And the Elohim, I believe, are discussed in the Bible as well, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to double check and look that up. But regardless, there are clearly other gods. I mean, the fact that Yahweh says that you will have no other gods before me indicates that there are other gods to be chosen from. And also that I'm a jealous God. Okay. So, and if they don't follow me, you kill them all. Oh, okay. Right. But then later in the New Testament, God is love. Really? Is that same guy that was, like, killing everybody that wouldn't bow to him, or what? I mean, or killing everybody because they questioned something he said, or, I mean, come on. That's not an all-loving being and all that. Now, that being said, there absolutely is an all-loving, benevolent energy that does watch over humanity, that can be called upon if you have faith. And I have called upon this energy many, many times. In fact, during my 20 years as a devout Christian, that was the darkest period of my life, by the way. I lost my connection to that benevolent source of love. Well, not totally. Okay, not totally. You can't really lose it all the way. But it was darkened. It was dim. My frequency, I think, was just way too low during those 20 years. But then after I revoked all of these entities, my whole life did a just complete turnaround, and I'm way happier now than I've probably ever been, honestly. Now, Genesis, just the name Genesis, is the story of our genetic manipulation. But what most people don't realize is there are 4 types of beings created, 4 types of man in chapters 1 and 2 of Genesis. 2:7, I believe, is the last time that one was created. But it's not just man was created one time. I mean, people can't even read the first chapter of the Bible, but then they want to freaking quote the thing like it's just insane. You also, if you're a devout Christian, you better be reading the Nag Hammadi, because that, if you're going to preach Christianity, because the Nag Hammadi is a bunch of books of Christ's removed teachings, which includes the reincarnation teachings, which are quite important. Christ did teach reincarnation, and the Council of Nicaea in approximately 400 A.D., the goal of that council, basically, that was when they decided on what was going to be in the Bible and, what it was going to say and all these things. And they removed every teaching of reincarnation out of it because they can get better bang for their buck, the more fear, if people fear they think they got one life and eternal damnation, you can get better compliance. That's all it's about. It's a fear and guilt control program. It's brainwashing, okay? If there were really a benevolent, all-loving God would not want somebody to bow at his feet. He would want somebody to look him in the eye and talk to him. Feel comfortable with. I mean, I think about, like, if I were God, okay? I absolutely would not want people bowing at my feet. Stand up and look at me, dude. I mean, just talk to me. I mean, I want respect. Sure, absolutely. And I am grateful or thankful to whoever created my spirit ultimately. Am I thankful for these physical bodies that trap our spirits? Then when we're really like light body beings that should be like flying all over the place? I'm not so sure. I need more information. And that's a problem. If there were really this benevolent, loving God, would they just throw us here without any kind of instruction? You can say, oh, yeah, the Bible's instruction. Well, but no, it's not. I mean, man wrote that, and yes, you can say it was divinely channeled, but it wasn't. And even if it was originally divinely channeled, Rome's had its hands all over it. The Vatican has butchered the whole thing. So the Bible is no more truth than, the New York Times. I don't know. It's ridiculous for people to sit there, especially these proclaimed truthers, but they won't look at religion. The information is there, okay? You can wake up to it. I know that a lot of you have depended on this for your identity, and without your faith, you feel like you have nothing. Just because I'm not a Christian in no way, shape, or form means I have no faith. I have plenty of faith. But I have faith in the whole system, in all of us, in the mind itself. I mean, we're all consciousness. We're all the same consciousness. So, we're consciousness experiencing itself. And until you can get, I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, so as far as, if God is, if I had to put a name on what I think God is, I mean, I would say it's a cosmic mind that encompasses all of the consciousness, like all rolled into one. So we're all God experiencing itself. I do think I know there's a hierarchy of beings, and I think that humans were created by higher dimensional beings, absolutely, but we were not created by the utmost source, by the top, not the human body. Now, our spirit most likely was created from source. How we got down in here, I'm not sure. Still working on that. Spirituality is a forever evolving journey. But these people that are still preaching this Bible stuff and everything, they haven't even started. I've lost my train of thought. But thanks for listening. Have a good day.